Hello again, this is Steve for LessonsOnlineTV, and in this video I'm going to finally try to show you how to make some complete, modern Greek sentences. Of course, I've got a bit of theoretical background first. Just like every language, a sentence is comprised of two nouns at least, maybe one, a noun and a verb. But definitely a verb. There cannot be a sentence without a verb. A verb, as I have said, is something that describes an action. So you need somebody who's doing something and somebody who's actually receiving it. The case where your action goes back to yourself is the case that you do not need a receiver, so you only need one noun. Now let me start with the basic phrase. This is actually a complete sentence in modern Greek, and I wrote that in the previous 2 videos ago. I'm just writing this. This is not useful. I'm just saying it. This is a complete sentence. This means I am combing myself. Okay. It's not my hair, obviously, but myself. That's what it says, right? And so one word can be a sentence in itself. It depends on the context. It depends on a lot of things. But in this case, it depends on the word itself. It's obvious you understand what you're combing your hair, right? And let's start with some basic things like. I don't know, John is tall, I don't know, George is small, fat, I don't know, ugly. And, okay, just for starters, what I said. Well, when you actually refer to a name, and generally when you start a sentence, it's usually nominative. The person who's doing the action is a nominative. Or Yannis. This is John. Okay, there are a lot of names in Greek that change a bit in English. Okay, I don't know which one came first, but it doesn't matter. O Yannis είναι. If you actually look back in the videos, you'll actually see that this is third person singular. So he is. What do you want him to be? I want him to be fat, okay? Fat, I didn't write this adjective before, haven't written it. Είναι χοντρός. Simple phrase. It's in this case, I'm actually writing it in the subject, verb, object order. Right? Okay? But, as I have said, in other videos, you do not necessarily need to follow this kind of format. Not necessarily. It's always better if you do it this way. Okay? Subject, verb, object. It's pretty much clear. There is no case of misunderstanding. But if you want to be if you're feeling lucky and you want to emphasize something a lot, you might change the order of things. If you put whatever you put first, it means that you're trying to emphasize it. Whatever you put first means that it's more important to you than the rest of the sentence is. So if you say είναι χοντρός ο Γιάννης, it's he is fat. That John guy, he is fat. Okay? Or if you say χοντρός είναι ο Γιάννης, this is pretty much clear. It's totally correct. There is no complication if you do that. It sounds like he is fat, this John guy, not something else. It's not like you're not actually stating that, whoa, he is indeed. He is fat indeed, in this case. He's fat. It's not something else. He's not slim. He's not smart. He's not any other kind of thing. He's just fat. It's you're really trying to focus on that part. So, having said that, the rest of the concept is pretty much the same. Whatever you want to say, I was talking about dogs all the time. Ο σκύλος παίζει well, this can be a sentence in itself, okay? Let's say full stop. The dog is playing. The dog plays. Παίζω. It's a regular verb. Do not get confused if you check out the patterns. It's exactly the same. Παίζω is play. Okay? Παίζω, παίζεις, παίζει, παίζουμε, παίζετε, παίζουν. Okay? And let's add something. Let's make it a bit more spicy. There are things here that I have not said. Παίζει με την μπάλα. I think you remember the ball. I've stated, like, I've said stuff about the ball. Η μπάλα του σκύλου. I've written this like 2 or 3 times. This is nominative. This is accusative. As you can see, only the article changes. That's the case for this noun. Let me actually write, like, the pattern. It's not that different. This is like standard female. Η μπάλα της μπάλας. Την μπάλα. Μπάλα. Οι μπάλες. No, I'm not sure here. That's not complicated. Okay, don't mind with plural. Just keep this in mind. It's not really that hard, but now I'm gonna black out if I try to think about it. I'm gonna waste a lot of time about plural. So, η μπάλα, την μπάλα, as I have said, nominative is when you refer to something that is probably something that is somebody that is doing something. The ball cannot do something. It's inanimate. And as such, it's usually the victim of one of our actions. So, seeing how this is the receiver of our action, it's gotta be like, it's gotta be in the sentence in accusative, just like it is here. And the only, like, missing link in this case is this word. This is the exact translation. There's nothing complicated. It's with. Okay? The dog is playing with the ball. This is pretty fancy, actually. Like, I've never actually used any of these words before. Let's try another one, okay? Something new, introductory. When you want to say in modern Greek to, at, it's practically the same thing. There is no such kind of discrimination when you go to and add something. You always use se. I'm just going to write it separate for now. You'll see what I'm trying to say. To χορτάρι. Το χορτάρι is the grass. Just quickly the actual suffixes. Χορτάρι, του χορτάριου, χορτάριου, το χορτάρι. Χορτάρι. It's not really difficult, but we're not going to use any of these anyway. But this is, in fact, even though it looks like nominative, because this is like a nominative form, it's also accusative. Generally that happens with neuter nouns. Usually accusative is the same with nominative. It only makes things easier. Do not worry about the grammar part. You're just never going to have to worry about whether you actually put it there correctly or not. Now, what I said, I'm going to put them separate. I said that before. It means that I would put these two separately. This normally does not happen. You're not meant to do that. This gets linked together and is written sto. Because se to, it's pointless, okay? Sto. There is no other word that is exactly like se. Se means, it's a word that shows direction. It might mean to or at. It's exactly the same thing. You never need to worry about, like, distinguishing these two anymore. You just use se and you're done. Even in, even on, everything, to, at, on. It can be, you only use this one. There is no need for another word. So, the dog is playing at, on, in, not in, obviously. The grass, okay? He's playing on the grass. So, there's not really much else to say. This is like the basic idea. I can definitely answer questions and write more sentences when you ask me at the comments, but I cannot think of anything else right now. the basics are here, okay? You can make sentences in any kind of order you want. You emphasize like on the first word, the thing that you say first. It means that this is what you really care about most, okay? And generally a subject, verb, object order is good enough. You do not need to complicate things. Not now, at least. And you just saw two words, me and se. Me is easier, okay, it's with, it's exactly with. Now I'm getting used to se actually being all of these words you actually use all the time in English. Well, it's gonna take like a while to get used to. So, as you just ask me, like online on in the comment section to actually write to you a few more phrases, and definitely if you think I have missed something concerning like how to make sentences, I can always make a new video as a video response. But this, I think this pretty much sums it up. This pretty much covers what you need. If there's something that you need that you cannot find here, it's probably something from the previous chapters. Like you probably need some kind of filling in when it comes to verbs, nouns, adjectives. But of course this is my fault, if it so happens. And as such, I want you to tell me. Just send me like an email, send me a comment, and tell me that you want a new video concerning whatever. But I'm gonna make new videos anyway. From this point onward, I'm gonna try to get a bit more technical, so that we can actually, like, how do you say, analyze things, understand why things happen and how things happen. But of course, it's boring, okay? So I'm going to try to make it as interesting as possible. It's hard, still, it's hard because there are a lot of grammatical phenomena in modern Greek that can totally alter the shape of sentences. You can stretch things apart, you can put two sentences into one another, you can do a lot of things. So don't worry about that. Try the basics, try what I just told you. Send me practice sentences, and probably just to keep it on a basic level, I'll add more videos when it comes to how do you ask questions, so how do you ask for directions and stuff like that. Okay, so I'll see you in the next videos generally, which I hope will be better than these ones. Okay, so I'll see you next video.